I just finished watching Young Sherlock episode 6. So, full spoilers ahead. If you don't want spoilers, this is not the episode for you. Catch something else. But wow, after that beautiful little jewel box of an episode that we had just before, this one brings all of the strands back fully into play. The game is yet again completely afoot. So, I need to come right to the heart of the matter, the start and end of this episode. Whoa, the dad is not only obviously a master gaslighter, but he's also not just the bad guy. He's the linchpin who's kind of running the whole show and selling this whole system of new warfare, modern warfare, never see what's coming, to the generals, right? He's not only the bad guy, he's also stopping all the revolutionaries. This is whole next level. So let's fully dive into this because I'm a little taken aback. The way that the episode even starts is with him protecting himself against his son, right? Because he's now seen Sherlock digging up the sister in the end of this last episode and realizing that things are not right. So I love that the wife takes control of this scene. It requires ammunition, but boy, does she then take control of this scene and start to be like, no, that is not true. It's not true about the doctor. It's not true about this. It's not true about that. You, sir, need to start telling the truth. And of course, he's not accountable to tell the truth because it's too ugly. So the guy freaking runs. This is ugly. I'm really sad about this. So more than anything, this has made me deeply sad and also does start to make you understand maybe how Sherlock has become quite so emotionally removed later in life, to just focus on facts and figures and details and truth, because this is like next level betrayal. Okay, so all the strands come back into play. I love the fact that yes, we're still at Appleton Manor, but then we come back into Mycroft. So Mycroft is now all over piecing things together. That's what this episode is about. Everybody is all over piecing things together. And we got the big letters and we got the time where we're here, we're in Bayside, we're in Cheapside, we're at the Foreign Office, we're in Paris. It's awesome. But we do need to keep up because it is kind of a lot to pull all together. And I think the episode does a really good job of making it both beautiful, easy enough to follow. But let's come back to Mycroft, right? The doctor's confirming that nothing is visible here. The Foreign Office is confirming they're not going to show their hand, and they're certainly not going to tell this clerk, whoever he is, so they cut their ties with him as well. He then has the wherewithal and also starts, you really see how his mastery and like diplomacy, this Mycroft Holmes, comes in the form of his relationship with Lestrade, who is also kind of getting shoved off to the side, possibly scapegoated. And now that's coming into the frame too. So Mycroft is following his own things. Before we even get to Sherlock, let's talk about, oh, she's back. The princess imposter is back. Now, is her friend mortally wounded or maimed? It's hard to tell. I couldn't really tell. I know that this is a problem. But I gotta say, I also had no idea who they were fighting until it struck me later that I simply believe at this point that it's the guy who was her handler, who then said to her, oh, Malik's, we're done with this now. Malik's off bounds. You can't do this. I think her handler was the guy who they end up fighting, who then shows up again toward the end. If I'm not right there, let me know. I didn't look for names or people in episodes or anything like that, which I do sometimes. Believe me, that I do, and spend more time going down those rabbit holes. But I didn't hear. But he also did kind of look similar enough to, I don't know, is this Malik's partner, Malik's lover who works at the hotel? There were a lot of people who look just alike enough, who we've not spent enough time with, for me to not know exactly who was who here. So that's perhaps just a slight misstep in terms of specificity, or maybe a line or two being like, oh, right, I thought we were doing this, but now this is happening, just to give us some context. But that's the only missing piece there with her. Boy, did she bring the party to the end of the episode. But let's come back to Sherlock. I love that this episode reunites in travel and adventure now, Sherlock and James and the mother, right? So the parents, right? What we kind of got earlier that then got placed in Appleton Manor now comes back into the world, and we got them smuggling into offices late at night. We got them on chases with cows being the diversionary tactic. We also have this like beautiful moment that I think is so true that I feel really got planted well in the last episode of like, these parents don't know their adult children at all. And this mother is getting some clue of who her younger son really is and what he's capable of. And that is very exciting, but she is game for an adventure. Finally, we end up in Paris. This, to me, you may not be surprised, maybe to you too, please tell me, was the only obvious over-the-top misstep where we have them being dropped off in a cab and literally needing to go through a revolutionary mini battlefield where guns are going off, perhaps bombs. There's a little banter, but are you kidding? Like, I just find it, as much as all of this stuff, especially with spy things and things of a government nature, let's say, right? I just find it very easy to believe most of these things are possible and even how they happen. I could be naive enough in that way, but I believe that level of crazy is possible. With them walking through a little gun battle, that was too much. That pushed me a little too far. I stopped credulity at that point because we want to believe and be in it. That was too much. Suffice to say, how does the whole thing end? Yes, we end up in Les Folies Bergères, and we got the Can girls, and we got the good times rolling. And it's really like, what's that thing with Nicole Kidman and Ewan McGregor, and she's Satine or whatever her name is, right? We have that come to life again, and it's so fun to see. And was it CGI? Were there really constant gold confetti coming from the ceiling the whole time? Either way, it's magical. It's really magical. And then, of course, the fun of this is everybody now converges again. So all the separate shreds, Mycroft, the parents, James, Sherlock, and the mother, they meet at Folies Bergères. We get the father with Malik. The father is clearly now with Malik and a bunch of generals. Sketch AF. And so where do we end up but in this bunker, right? We end up under the city in some sort of cellar, and the princess imposter shows up yet again. But what do we really get to see? Ultimately, we get to see the sadism of the father and loving to watch things, which is so disturbing to me on 1,000 different levels. You get to see the kind of malicious glee and glint in this guy's eye. But then separately, Sherlock has been shot and is clearly bleeding. I thought it was going to be bad enough where he like runs across the room, tries to get to the dad, and he's inhaled some of the fumes and cannot be stopped. Obviously, it's his show. He's going nowhere. I got that. But for him to get shot, for him not to divert that, for her also not to try to shoot Malik, but the father instead, there's a lot going on here. But talk about a cliffhanger. But I don't know if this show is renewed yet. I got to check that out next. But there's so much going on, and there's so much I love. So I still got to give it a solid 2 thumbs up because I think it twists and turns in so many great ways. It pushes credulity walking through the gun battle of revolutionaries. And I also want to say, I love that this in the last episode clarified the timelines. If 12 years ago was when the sister disappeared at 1859, we're clearly like 1971 solidly, which so helps understanding what's going on and where we are. And what this looks like as we like move into later real Sherlock Holmes in late Victorian, Queen Victoria's London, and what that looks like. So I love that detail and how this all plays together. What did I miss that is so worth mentioning? This episode was packed. Right after the quiet episode, I had a feeling that this one would be loud and big, packed. Can't wait to see what happens next. What did I miss and what did you think?